Rebel salute to everyone out there. Rebel salute to everyone out there. I hope everyone is doing good and you have your soul right with your creator, the creator of all things, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Welcome to this another day of a live. This is going to be a marathon today. I usually don't go 1 hour, but I'll try to make it an hour, okay? Because I think I want to cover what I need to cover, which might take a long time. Maybe I might finish in 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to explore something that I see a trend, as it says in the topic, the same protagonists to engineer the creation of the next coalition government in Kenya. Okay, the same faces who created the previous government are coming in to create the next government. Okay, as we can see, the signs of realignments are happening and starting to show, and we might go to the courts, which Ruto calls corrupts the judiciary, to make some pivotal, seismic changes or decisions that will affect Kenya, how Kenya is ruled. Okay, so before further ado, my friend, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, this is Kenya Revolutionary. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go run and subscribe. That's my name right there. Just type it on YouTube and you will see me there. And if you want the link is in the chat. Brother Benson, I see, was already there asking for the link. It's right there, my friend. If in case you're watching, wherever you are, I still please go to Brother Benson's channel. He has a very, very, very good content. There's an interview that I'm still watching from his channel by Professor, I forgot his name, Oguda, something, yeah. The professor, the great professor, wonderful professor. That's why I say I recommend anyone that watches this channel, please go to Brother Benson's channel media. He has a very, very, very informative channel. Okay, so back to this. Again, I will post the link again for anyone who would be interested in joining. I'll be rambling, ranting, and also making my case. Today, I want to act like a prosecutor, trying to prosecute, convince the jury, members of the jury, to see what is actually happening. Now, to put into context of what I'm about to talk about, it has everything that relates to the news that has been happening in the past 48 hours or so. We saw Kalonzo Musyoka have he had a press conference, not a conference, but an interview. I think it was with the NTV or KBC or one of the rads. And he said that in 2027, he is going to be on the ballot as a presidential candidate. This time he's not going to sit back as somebody's number second. Kalonzo wants to be in the ballot. He's going to be a presidential candidate. And also, he took a swipe at Kamwene, the party that was formed by Miss not Charity Gill. What's her name? I forgot. Martha Karua. Yes. Okay, let me put in Brother Benson in here. All right, Brother Benson, what's going on?
Nothing much. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm so jealous of you. You're getting wonderful interviews. I love that. I'm in the middle of looking at that interview. I've just told my people, anyone that's watching here, go to your channel. I want to see that interview with Prof. I am so proud of you. So, but welcome. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much. And that's why I came in, just to say a word of hi to you, because you're also doing an amazing job. Actually, yesterday I was planning to join your show, but I had Prof.
Yes.
Yeah, so our show were running concurrently.
Yes, that's what I realized, because immediately I finished and I saw I had a notification that your show was actually going on, and I caught it, but it was over. It was over, and I was like, oh, the great show with the Prof, and I missed it. So I was so much, but I'm in the middle of watching it. I haven't finished it yet, but it was a very, 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 I can tell that's a blockbuster. Nobody should miss this. That's a blockbuster right there. Of all there's two that your last two interviews were hearts to you. I love it. It's very informative. So yes. So
thank you so much.
Tell me what's going on. I see today there's some things going on. I don't know. Kalonzo said he's 2027. He's on the ballot, and Raila is meeting up with Jimmy Wanjigi, or the old friends coming together. And Wandani is telling us that Azimio shall have a new coalition come 2027. What's your take?
But my take is this. what does new coalition bring into the table? Because it will just going to be a change of name with the same people and the same policies. That is how the politics is being played. Nothing much. Because I usually say this: when you're very keen into Kenyan politics, it's not about ideology; it's about power. You know, and our politics is about conquering. How will I conquer? You know, it's not a competing on ideology. That are, because you've had it like this time round, we are going to vote so that we can take Baba home or we can take Ruto out of power. But what is the ideology that we want to do for our country? You know, or what do we want to do? So even with the new coalition and doing that, nothing much is going to be brought, because that the same people who have been playing politics for long time, it's still going to be the same players with different outfits. So for me, I don't think like something new is going to come out of new coalitions that are going to be formed.
Does this create loggerheads? I mean, if Kalonzo is saying he's 2027, he's going to run, and Wandanyi is saying they are seeking a new coalition, does that kind of they're not speaking from the same script? Does that kind of suggest that they're not in the same page? Maybe they're seeing it differently. Because
Yeah.
if Wandanyi is saying they haven't decided on the candidate and Kalonzo is, does that mean Kalonzo is planning an exit?
No, maybe politics is a very funny and interesting. It depends. There's a face value that a common Mwananchi might understand, like, okay, Kalonzo wants to run, but they also the inner value that what are they projecting, or what do they want to create, the perception that is there. But if you look at, if you're very keen from the time we had coalitions, you know, the time of Kibaki and where we are today, you know, you would see like there's no ideology, you know, there's no ideology that we might say, because if we had ideology and we ideology and values, we could have been somewhere. For instance, I'm very sorry to talk about you know, the history of Maina Njenga
Yes.
to where we are until today, yeah. But right now, he seems to be a saint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you marry those kind of like ideology, whereby maybe his party, what does it stand for, and what does the other party that he want to, his coalition or he's having like arrangement with, what do they stand for? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what vision, what ideology do they drive? Because the ideology that is there, to me, it's about transactional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about transactional. You know, I'm coming to you and I have this group of people, or like my fan base is with you.
Mm-hmm.
If I come and join you, what am I going to get in return? But if you get that, what that if you get that one in return, the people that you're representing, what are they getting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, it if you studied it very keenly, it is it is of musical chairs that
Mm-hmm.
they keep on switching and playing with uh the the minds of Kenyans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we go different way like this.
And Ruto seems to be in trouble. I saw a clip of him in, was it Nyahururu?
Yes, Nyaururu.
And basically, three people showed up, and people were just walking around, didn't care about what he had to say because, I mean, people think that this man, you know, he's he overpromises and delivers very little. So, you know, he's losing credibility. So I was thinking maybe, and this is my thought, I might be wrong, and you can chime in on this. Uh, maybe Ruto, as you have said, these guys are, they only have a transactional kind of relationship. You know, what numbers can you bring to my coalition so we can win power? So
Mhm.
will it be in Ruto's best interest maybe to reach out to Baba and say, you know what, Baba, this thing I cannot go by myself. I will not survive 2027. So why can't we push on and have this BBI, which is NADCO stuff, and you know, we'll create some position for some of your friends, and I'll stay in power. You'll have Ninio. Then 2032, we shall see what goes on over there. You'll have to fight Nani Gachagua if he runs. Don't you think that's might be something that Ruto might see as a viable option for him to get Baba on his side? That's way to get some kind of some legitimacy or some support for people not to, you remember like Uhuru Kenyatta, once he brought Baba in, at least he kind of, Baba legitimized him. Now people, the country was at ease once Baba Ninio, because he has more support. At least it gives him a little bit of boost. Now people won't be as maybe disrespectful or look down on him as Zakayo. Don't you think that will be the case in 2027? Because Ruto is very, very unpopular.
Yeah, that is very, 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 very. It is, anything can happen in Kenyan politics, and because look at you were here in 2023, when the former president, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, took over power, and there was that opposition from the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and you would see the MPs that were allied to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. They were very disrespectful to Uhuru Kenyatta, to the extent I can remember. I might quote, some of the MPs even called him son of the dog, like all that. It was there very in the presidency. But when they came together and shook hands, what happened? President Uhuru became the darling of so many people until today. Yeah. But we forget how the past was. And when they came in, it was an issue of building the bridges. But how are we building the bridges? Did we actually, as a country, when we were building these bridges, did we really focus on the things that made us to be where we were? And did we solve them? So even right now, because we know right now the president is finding it very hard. Yeah. And because I was not expecting to see President in Nyahururu with no crowds. You know how president, especially when it comes to the Mount Kenya nation, he had a big crowd, and would wait for him. But today it was of surprise, because like he was addressing like not even 100 people, But if you say, okay, Baba, let's come and work together so that we can make country, so that we can boost our economy and we create peace, that is possible, because the voters themselves will say, okay, if this is what is going to make the economy better, if they come together, why not?
Which leads to my question, because how will the Azimio base feel about Baba if he was to, let's say, they create this government of national unity and Ruto is there, Baba is there? How will the diehard Azimio feel about that? Will they feel betrayed? They'll say, oh, Baba just wanted to come into government and now we are not cared about. And my second question is the Mount Kenya issue. I keep on hearing people say, in order to win presidency, you need the Mount Kenya people to be on your side. And I kind of disagree with that. I think that you can still, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe you have done your math according to how you see the numbers down there. Why do people always argue that you have to have Mount Kenya people on your side in order to win the presidency? Because if, let's say, for example, if Baba was to join forces with Ruto, that's his taking out the Kalenjin. That means he has Kalenjin inside. He has Coast Province is pretty good Azimio following. Of course, Nyanza, Nairobi, some parts, huge parts, because the huge Luo and the Kamba, and assuming they still have Kamba. So my argument is, what do you think about the politics in Central Province as it relates to a possible coalition between Baba and Ruto? And will the Azimio folks feel betrayed if Baba was to enter into a national government with Baba?
So what is happening? One thing with the Baba has like loyal fans. Baba has those who really, really, really are diehard of Baba. Wherever Baba make a right, they will always do, and we've seen this every time Baba make a move. So that is the only people who might feel like Baba has betrayed them is maybe the people the other principals that might not find a position when to say like Baba has come to unite with Ruto, because some other principle will have to lose, So
Yes.
those are the only Azimio fans who might feel betrayed, but the fanatical base of Baba will always be with the Baba. That is has been proven. Yeah, yeah, because you cannot take it away from Baba. His base is usually with him. Whether he makes what they will complain, yes, but eventually the Baba will give them only one speech, and that one will convince everybody, and people will say what Baba has said is right.
Baba akisema mimi ni nani, as
Baba akisema mimi ni nani. So the only people who will be complaining if that one, just in case if it happens, are the principals like Martha Karua, High Excellency Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, Jeremiah Kioni. Those are the people who might feel like, okay, Baba has betrayed me. But like the fans for Baba will always move with the Baba. But now when you come to the central Kenya issue, whereby they say like about election, it's just only because our election process, even the voting process, has never been done accurately. Because if you look at the statistics from Mount Kenya, how people vote, it has never happened in the world. There's no way in which you want to tell me, but you can vote maybe 100%. So which means everybody that is registered in that constituency has voted. Nobody died, or nobody fell sick that day, or nobody was, So it's about the system, on how the system it works when people are voting. So I don't think like you have to have Mount Kenya. Is that like it is only how the system has been working, and how the perception of we have been has been created on us. Because when you think of Mount Kenya during voting, the only polling station that people keep on waiting is Tharaka Nithi.
yes.
They were still waiting for Tharaka Nithi. That is like the determinant for election. Once you see that Tharaka Nithi has come, you feel like even if you are competing against somebody who will get the majority vote from Mount Kenya, once you see the Tharaka Nithi is all counted, then you have a sign of relief. But if not, you are still in panic mode, based on the history of that. So that's what I think.
Do you think Baba won in Central Province? Because I know there are some people who say, Baba was not somebody who's okay. The history between Central Province and Baba. They always felt, historically, people from Nyanza, since Tomboy, I'd say that Nyanza Province, usually there's that uneasy relationship between Central Province and people from Nyanza because of the death of Tomboy. And they feel like Baba, there's always, Baba, they feel like Baba, if Baba becomes the president, he is going to be a threat to the Kikuyus or whatever the case is. So there's that Raila phobia in Central Province. Now, we saw that some people are complaining that Uhuru Kenyatta did not actually, campaign enough for Baba in Central Province. So they're saying that's the reason why Baba probably did not win in Central Province. Do you think that was so? Do you think they actually voted for Ruto instead of Baba? And as we are seeing, they're saying they are regretting for voting for Ruto. And will they ever vote for Raila Odinga to overcome that Raila phobia? I'm just interested to, for somebody, for your perspective, how if you think really Central Province might vote for Baba.
I think it's quite hard for me, because this is something that has been a generational. Because the Raila phobia started when even some of the people who are vying right now, when they were still very young and they grew up with that. And what can confirm these statements, I can remember when Honorable Sabina Chege was then, when he was still in Azimio, like in the forefront of Azimio, I can quote her. She said one thing that, like, when I thought of Raila family, like, to me, I thought they were not even human being. What does that one tell you? Remember, there was an interview she did, I can remember, on how people, like, they are good people. She said that. So from there, it tells you the perception that that is there. So when you look at the voting, maybe if you look at the voting pattern that happened last year, actually Baba got more votes in Central Kenya in the last election as compared to any other election he has contested for. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he did not get that based on the fact that maybe the voter turnout in central Kenya was not at it was when actually somebody from central Kenya was running. Remember when Uhuru Kenyatta was running, the
Mm-hmm.
voter turnout was
You.
very high as compared to the year 2022.
Yes.
So one of the things that might have caused that apathy was, one, historical, the Railaphobia in central Kenya, especially for the young people who are coming, and two, the voter turnout. And another thing might be the buyout, because remember, one of the tactics that the President Ruto used was through churches, and
Mm-hmm.
the churches usually captures the majority, and the people that majority of the people, the larger population that are usually in the church, are very vulnerable community, the people who are living below the poverty line, the majority, if you look at our churches, African churches,
Mm-hmm.
and these are people who needs hope. These are people who, if you tell them something that is kind of like futuristic,
Mm-hmm.
they will be with you. So those are the kind of the factors that I think like might have caused that vote. But the year 2022, Baba got good votes in central Kenya than ever. So the question is, will he get it? Maybe if he's running for the next general election, yeah, so many things will play out, because
Yes.
we have the new league, this group that has been started by Math. I don't know, Kanene, CJ what?
Kamwene, I think. Kamwene.
Kamwene,
Yes.
that even Kalonzo Musyoka was criticizing that. Yeah.
Yes.
And that also can play a part, You cannot just dismiss that these are people who speak the same language. These are people who know what they want. These are people who share the same birthright from the same community. How do you dismiss them? It's
They
not very easy. They will have a say.
they
Just
seem to have a vacuum in power. That's who is their leader as of right now? Is it Maina Njenga? Is it Martha Karua? We see Jimmy Wanjigi has joined the fold, but they've been friends with Raila before. So,
yeah,
who is their leader? Who has the most influence in Central Province right now?
I don't know, because I don't think Jeremiah Kioni has that influence. I know Maina Njenga has like a large young members of the community. The youthful are following him. He has that. Um, Mother Karua, yes, but no at some point, because Her Excellency Mother Karua is one person who has her stand. She doesn't care how many people are following her, but
Yes.
provided she stand for something, that what makes her very different with any other politician in Kenya, because she rather goes with one person rather than going with the population, provided that what she thinks she stands for. That's what make her quite different. So that's also might play a part.
Yes. I have a couple of questions for you. Now, Saitabao, right?
Yeah. Then I need to leave. Just ask me about the sit about, then I
Okay.
leave.
Sorry
Mm,
about that. Okay, very quickly.
mm,
Saitabao, who wrote the book Why Baba Lost, and he
mhm,
claimed that um, the Jubilee part of the government kind of helped Baba lose. Now, there are some people who are saying that Uhuru kind of played Baba. His reason was to sabotage Baba to lose. We saw
mm,
Saitabao has joined, not joined, but he kind of he, he praised Raila Odinga,
mm,
Ruto. What do
mm.
you think about his pronouncements by actually, you know,
This is something that has always happened with people who have supported Baba. People always will only support Baba when Baba is doing good, but immediately something happens, they turn around to say all manner of things, but they do not talk about the Baba himself, the benefits that even they're gaining from Baba. So this is like one way in which they can promote their books. That is one. But
mhm,
genuinely speaking, something that I would say, Uhuru Kenyatta really tried, even
mhm,
though the ground was very hostile, even he knew that the ground was very hostile, but he still sticks with Baba until today. So maybe there was a little things that he could have done, but due to one, he was the sitting head of state. Yeah.
mhm, mhm,
Secondly, he understood the ground. Like the ground right now is very hostile. There's no need for me to go there for embarrassment.
mhm,
But he warned the people. Yeah. Even though he did not campaign as people might have expected, but he told the people, if you do this, kindly please vote this Mzee.
Yes.
I'm warning you. And maybe some of what he said has come to be true,
Mm-hmm.
So I think he did his best based on how the condition was then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair point. All right, Brother Benson, I know you're a busy man. Thank you so much for joining my channel. Please go to my Brother Benson, guys. There's wonderful interviews there, and I will see you around, brother. Thank you very much for stopping by. Rebel salute. Rebel salute.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you later. All right, that was Brother Benson, a very good podcaster. He has a wonderful channel. Please go check his podcast out. He has interesting people in his where he interviews people. And yes, I had to ask him a couple of questions, regarding the political zeitgeist in Kenya. Back to the topic today, same protagonist to engineer the creation of the new coalition government in Kenya. Now, I will start with this video, okay, which I thought was interesting. I saw it on Twitter. I want to show you this video as I make my case. Remember, today, I want to make my case as a prosecutor who's trying to convince the jury to see if my case stands. Okay, now let's get started. I'll play this video and tell me, because this is what I asked Brother Benson the last question. I asked him, did Uhuru actually play Raila Odinga in order to fulfill his promise to Ruto? As he promised Ruto, he told him 10 for me, 10 for you. Kumi yangu, kumi yako. Okay, kumira kumira. I think there was a song like that or something like that. Okay, so is it true that Ruto actually Uhuru played Raila Odinga? Because Saitabao, as we had from Benson, you have the people who use Baba, and then after that they just go away because they've achieved what they wanted to achieve. But I was surprised to see Saitabao somewhere in where Ruto was, and he joined the Ruto and actually praised Ruto for his affordable housing stuff. So I thought that was really interesting. And he said that God help Kenya to choose Ruto. So let's play this clip and tell me what you think, because I think it's very, 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 very interesting. It's a video that I think you'll find very interesting. Let's go about it. All right, are you ready? All right, let's do it.
Kenya. She's the ones that direct the business of Kenya each and every day.
I'll start it.
Africans, you can see here, Ambassador Margaret Maggie Whiteman. She's the ambassador to Kenya. This is the president of Kenya. This is the sitting president of Kenya, not William Ruto. This one, yeah, is the president of Kenya. She's the ones that direct the business of Kenya each and every day. She's the one that overviewed the elections in Kenya. Africans, I always repeat that before we get rid of those who have supported colonialism in Africa and those who have colonized in Africa, their embassies, their SIA, which is underground, in their operatives, we will not liberate Africa. Uhuru Kenyatta, he played us very smart, lakini wasina kujua sisi wananchi tuko na akili, tunaona vizuri, tunajua. He pretended as if he was supporting Raila Odinga, but hell no, it was a psychological approach to play with the people's minds. That was Uhuru Kenyatta. The family of Uhuru Kenyatta never cutted ties with the British. The family of Uhuru Kenyatta never cutted the ties with the British. Also, that today Kenya is not yet independent, is not yet Uhuru. Remember when Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto went to ICC International Court of Crime. That is where they were termed. That's where they were got with their pants down. That is how they became the CIA agents in Africa. I won't go much into details. But we know, the worst part today is that we know everything that they are doing. And I always say, Africans, take your paper, write down their names. Write down to even some of their family members where they went to hide the looted funds of Africa, the looted riches of Africa, all of Africa. Let us write down. We see the son of the presidents, what they are doing throughout the continent of Africa. Write down their names. Once we liberate this Africa, we will go after them. Even to their offshore accounts, we will go there. To their properties overseas, we will go there. We will recover everything that has been stolen in Africa.
All right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, or comrades, have you seen that video? That video, actually, he says that gentleman right there, he's kind of huge on TikTok. I usually see him on TikTok. He concentrates on African politics in general. But his theory is that Uhuru Kenyatta played Raila Odinga. Could it be that's the case? Because most of us ask ourselves, or most people, especially on the Azimio side, and I've always mentioned this, if you listen to Babu Owino right after elections, Babu Owino was saying, why is it that Uhuru Kenyatta was the first person who was employed by the president, Ruto, once Ruto became the president? He gave him that AU peacemaker where he was flying around Africa and going to different countries, negotiating peace between two warring factions, okay? And Babu Owino said, hey, what's with this? Why is it he's the first one to be employed by Ruto even before the cabinet was formed, okay? And there are some people who are raising questions. Could it be a play? And some people ask, with all the state machinery and the deep state, as Mr. Oburu told us. Remember, Oburu told us that every time we always have the people, but we don't have the deep state. But this time we have the deep state, so we are going to win the election. But I guess Ruto had other plans, so Raila lost. So if Uhuru Kenyatta, with all the powers, the state machinery, and the deep state, could not deliver victory for Raila Odinga, could it be that Uhuru was playing Raila Odinga? Could it be? Okay, these are questions that some Azimio fellows have always asked. Even Alai, Robert Alai, the MCA in Nairobi, raised that question. Was like, this Uhuru guy, I don't trust him. This guy has something up his sleeve. He never really actually campaigned for Raila Odinga. And you can see it the way my brother Benson said, he knew that the ground was not very welcoming to Raila Odinga because of the historical differences that the Central Province and the Nyanza Province people have. That might be the reason. But again, with all the state machinery and the deep state and the system, how is it that Raila could not win the presidency, even with the support of the sitting president? Okay, so that's a point that worth exploring. Okay, now another thing, the guy also mentioned about Meg Whitman. We know Meg Whitman, for those who don't know, he was the former CEO of eBay and the former CEO of Hewlett Packard, whatever, that's a computer technology, whatever thing. She was a CEO of that, and she tried to run for governor back in 2020, I believe, or the year before that, 4 years before that. And she had there was an issue controversy where she had an undocumented worker working for her at a personal house, which actually made her lose the race. But Megan Whitman now is the ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to Kenya, and she's always very vocal in issues. Before the finance bill was passed, Megan Whitman, okay? No, sorry. Let me go back. Before before the finance bill was passed and when it went to court, Megan Whitman voiced her opinion on read it in Nairobi Daily, okay, business news, okay, and she said that this finance bill is good and should pass. She supported it, okay, which raised an eyebrow for me personally, because I was like, why would somebody, an ambassador, actually comment on a finance bill that was very controversial? From all indications, as Okiom Tata told us, this thing was illegal. Okay, it was illegal. Okay, and he explained that. I can go into that if you want to, but basically, there was a good reason why this thing should have not passed. But Meg Whitman made some interesting pronouncements supporting the finance bill, and indeed, once the issue went to the courts, it was approved. The court ruled in favor of Ruto. Okay, then I always tell you the G2G deal, the oil deal. I told you it was a wonderful deal initially because Ruto said he wanted to buy oil in Kenyan shillings. Okay, because he wanted to avoid the whole inflation thing. Because if you buy it in dollars and you're going to pay this within a certain time, with Kenyans' money losing value against the dollar, that means in the future we'll pay more. So it's basically better for us to buy it in Kenyan shillings. It was a wonderful idea. And right around the same time, Ruto was making pronouncements that were problematic against the West, in particular US, because he was talking about people need to be careful about having the US dollar, saying that the US dollar is losing its value with the advent of the BRIC nations coming up with their own currency. Okay, so he was saying, there's a clip where Ruto says, if you're having dollars, be careful because you might lose. It's going to lose value. So I won't advise anyone to have dollars. And right after that, Megan Whitman, along with what's his name, Chris Coons, Raila's best friend, the senator from Wisconsin, okay, made some pronouncement and say, hey, listen, we don't do that. Sell this thing in dollars. Remember, the dollar is the so-called what do you call it? The reserve currency of the world, because it is used in the purchase of oil, which is the most common commodity used all over the world. Okay, so that's what makes the dollar the world reserve currency. And you see the BRICS nations are breaking out of it because they're saying the dollar is losing its value because the dollar is not backed by anything. It's just dollar. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by anything. That's why the BRICS nations are saying they're starting their own currency that is backed by gold. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. The point I'm trying to emphasize is this. Why did this, every time there's a very pivotal moment in Kenya, especially something that really does not align with the West gaining from the decision that is to be made in Kenya, the U.S. ambassador Meg Whitman always have to say something, comment, or Chris Coons have to comment. Remember when Raila Odinga went on was it in Eldoret or somewhere else, when she called Meg Whitman a rogue ambassador after she claimed that the elections were free, open, and fair. Okay, and after that, when Raila called her a rogue ambassador, the next day, very next day, Raila Odinga was sitting with her in a chair somewhere with Chris Coons having dinner or somewhere else. They were sitting there. I guess they had to sit down Raila Odinga and explain to him, hey, listen, I think you're forgetting who actually runs and owns Kenya. We actually tell you what to do, okay? And after that, the whole thing was hashed out and we never had anything about it. So there's this guy that I played. He has some valid points when he says that Meg Whitman actually might be the one who's telling Ruto. And I've been telling you this, guys, okay? Kenya is being ruled by the IMF. IMF is a bench. IMF is just an organization, or the World Bank is a bank that is used by corporations to make inroads in the countries that they want to influence, okay? So this is how it works. That's why I always say, in order for us to liberate ourselves, we need to understand who really makes the real decisions in Kenya, okay? Ruto, yes, he's in a position where he can make a decision, but he is a puppet of the West. These are the guys. That's why you see in the Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, the first thing they did was kick out the French. They kick out the French because they understood that the French had heavy influence on the country, whether it's militarity, security, and all that. They kicked them out so they can actually be independent. Of course, they needed help from the Wagner Group. Okay, in Kenya, there's an American group. It's equivalent to Wagner Group, the mercenary group, but this group is called the Bancroft. It's an American mercenary group that's actually training our police forces and the special forces in Kenya. Okay, those are the people who are actually maintaining our security and actually probably are maintaining Ruto security. Okay, they are known. They made headlines a few months ago because they are making inroads. They want to make their way to the Central Republic of Africa. Okay, so do your research on that. Okay, I might play a video about the Bancroft group that wants to replace the Wagner group in Central Republic of Kenya. But let's go back to Kenya. Okay, now back to the protagonists that are going to engineer the creation of the next coalition government. Okay, let's put our focus on Jimmy Wanjigi. Jimmy Wanjigi. It's very interesting that Jimmy Wanjigi met Ruto yesterday. Okay, sorry, not Ruto, but Raila. Okay, and Raila he seems happy. He was happy. He was smiling. People were wishing him happy belated birthday. And, people are asking, what's going on? Okay, now, before these two met, they are both on one page. Okay, they are both talking about maandamano, protesting, going to the streets and protesting. But let me take you back, because Jimmy Wanjigi made some sort of pronouncements back in 2017 saying that the Uhuru government, the handshake actually was engineered in his house, in his living room. You think I'm kidding? Let me play you the video. So that's why I'm telling you, Jimmy Wanjigi is a very interesting character. Not only that, all these petitions that are being put that are actually stalling Ruto's progress, these petitions that Kiom Tata is putting in quotes, they are funded by Jimmy Wanjigi. Did you know that? All this stuff is being funded by Jimmy Wanjigi, okay? So this Jimmy Wanjigi guy, he's a very, very influential within the corridors of power in Kenya. But I want to play you a clip that shows you this guy is not your normal Kenyan billionaire. This guy is something else. So let me play a clip so you can get an understanding of what I'm talking about. Because I think this guy, we should study him closely. There's something is up with him and Baba. Like I told you, after he met with Baba yesterday, Raila Odinga, I hate calling him Baba because he's not my Baba, so I'll call him Raila Odinga. After they met, Wandanyi today say that there's going to be a new coalition. Azimio is going to meet up, create, join hands with a new coalition. He never specified who are in who are going to be in this coalition, but it was interesting nevertheless. So let me play you this this Jimmy Wanjigi video so you can I can jog your memory into how this guy, how influential this guy is and what he's always up to. Okay, here's Jimmy Wanjigi in 2017 to 2018 there.
The small Mwananchi faces in this country every day. This is a home I'd like to tell you we struggle to build, but this is a home I want to also tell you that this current regime of Uhuru Kenyatta, this is a home they know. It's a home they have visited. It is a home they've eaten with. They've eaten with my family here in this home many, many times. They have. In fact, their government was formed in this home. In this home. These are the facts. These are the facts. Okay. And I'm going to be very clear here. Right? I also want to say further that after the last general election in 2013, it is this home that Baba here agreed to come to shake hands with Uhuru Kenyatta after the Supreme Court had upheld his declaration. It is this home on Easter Monday that Baba agreed to come. And I remember praying extensively that day because I said, I am such a blessed man in this home and my family to have 10 million plus Kenyans in my home. I felt very blessed. It is here that a peace direction was accepted and have progressed forward to Uhuru's own acceptance of leadership in 2013. So this is my father, who has been.
Okay, so you see here, it seems like every time we have some type of a coalition agreement, okay, Jimmy Wanjigi always is in the play. Let me tell you something. Jimmy Wanjigi is the very guy who was talking about revolution. Kenya needs a revolution. Remember that. Remember that. That speech he gave at Coast, where they were talking about that group, Okoa Pwani or Okoa Mombasa, something like that. He gave a speech and said, Kenya needs a revolution. Let's put in mind that Jimmy Wanjigi has aspirations, just like any other Kenyan, but he always dreams. He dreams of being a president one day, which is his right. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? So he has his own individual interest in this, okay? But what I found very interesting is that he has been agitating, well, rightfully so, helping Ukia Mtata in those court appeals, but court petitions. He's the guy, the money behind Okia Mtata. Let's remember that. While we praise Okia Mtata and say, hey, Okia Mtata, ure, is the guy. But we have to be careful who is sponsoring Okia Mtata, okay? And it is Jimmy Wanjigi who has been helping him in these court cases. And he said so, okay? Now, Jimmy Wanjigi was also driving Azimio. At that time, 2017, was it still Azimio or was it CORD or something like that? I think it was CORD or something, whatever it was, the coalition. ODM, let me say Raila Odinga, okay? Jimmy Wanjigi was the engine, was the financier, the money behind Raila Odinga, okay? So he, like he has mentioned in that video clip, he was part of the people who actually brokered the handshake between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. Remember that, okay? So here he is. He has reappeared again. And even before that, he was speaking the same language as Raila Odinga. He was saying, hey, we need a revolution. Raila Odinga is talking about, when he started the thing, Raila said, Raila wanted something akin to the Kofi Annan Accord, which is a government of national unity, something that happened in 2008. And remember this is the eerie similarities between the two situations, okay? Let me take you back. Let me tell you what I mean. In 2007, after the Mandamano, it wasn't even a Mandamano. In 2007, it was tribal clashes that happened. We know that, whether it was Kiambaa, Rift Valley, Naivasha, all that stuff, even some places in Kisumu, we know the deal, okay? And after that, when Kofi Annan, Condoleezza Rice flew to Kenya, okay, these guys sat down with Kofi Annan and they had the Kofi Annan Accord, which they agreed upon, and all this stuff was brought to the parliament and was supposed to be implemented, in which led to the 2010 constitution being realized, okay? And after that, we have the new dispensation, okay, which we have currently, okay? The eerie similarity in that is that in 2022, okay, now we have Jimmy Wanjigi coming in. Raila Odinga, when he first started this Mandamano, I can play the clip right now. Should I play the clip? Should I? No, I want to keep this in 1 hour because it will drag my stream. I want to keep it in 1 hour. He said that they want something similar to what happened in 2007, akin to the Kofi Annan Accord. The Kofi Annan Accord actually had a raft of proposal, which part of it was a new constitution and what? And a government of national unity, power-sharing government. So which means Raila Odinga and the Azimio, all they want is another, what? The parliament legislative body passing this thing to what? To find take it to a referendum in order to change the current constitution, amend it to create these positions that they were talking about, okay? So while they jumped on, because remember, when they started this Mandamano, they were not successful. Most of them were not successful until later on when it started catching steam. Maina Njenga came in and Ruto came in and stopped the whole thing. And they had the NADCO thing. So now, this time, Raila Odinga has financial backing. Yes, we were being told that that Uhuru Kenyatta was behind the Mandamano, was financing that. Okay, we were told by the Interior of Security, the guy, what's his name, Duale. Duale told us that. Okay, but Uhuru might be facing challenges because, as you know, the Uhuru family, when he started that, after Duale told us that that the Uhuru family, the Kenyatta family are behind the financing of Mandamano, the Kenyatta family started having these problems with the government. The government started saying, "Hey, you guys need to pay taxes," and you can see the case in is it Taita Taveta with Kritikos, whatever his name is, that Greek man with Mamangina. They can't have their certificate of their whatever, of the land that they claim that is theirs. So you see, the Kenyatta family are having this at loggerheads with the government because of their political stance or whatever the case is. All right. So now we have Jimmy Wanjigi coming back in the fold, okay, who has been agitating for change, financing, frustrating Ruto through Okia Omtata. Let's be fair to him. What Okia Omtata has been doing is commendable, is patriotic. Nothing wrong with that. But what's troubling to me is that Jimmy Wanjigi is financing this. So that means if Jimmy Wanjigi stopped financing Okia Omtata's petitions at the court, because it is expensive to go through the court system. It costs money, all the court fees and all that good stuff, okay? So if Jimmy Wanjigi stops the Okia Omtata way, okay, and goes with Raila, which they have something in common. They both want this Mandamano. And I've always said, any Mandamano, any protest, mass action that is called on by this bourgeoisie class, it will not benefit the nation as a whole. These guys call these Mandamanos to benefit themselves. Remember, their goal is to be either in government or become president. So your interest, the interest of the people of Kenya, is not as the same as the interest of Raila Odinga and Jimmy Wanjigi. So while they might call the protest, and believe me, they've started. There are lawyers who are going to be protesting tomorrow. Then somebody else, the doctors in Embu, is it doctors in Embu somewhere, are going to protest. Are they protesting already? Okay, so it's starting. That's why Raila Odinga was saying the clouds are gathering. He knows it. He's very smart this time. He's not doing it like he started this earlier, because earlier he started and there was no support. Okay, now that people are being dissatisfied with Ruto, he's starting it small, in portions, starting with this, whether it's doctors, whether it's the law community, law society, you'll hear some workers over here and to gather around, and the financier now will be Jimmy Wanjigi, because Jimmy Wanjigi is all about revolution. But here is the problem with this. Like I said, these two individuals have different interests. Raila can bring you the people to go to the streets. Jimmy Wanjigi can bring you the cash. But their interest is not the same as the interest of the Wananchi. These guys, when Ruto calls them to negotiate, okay, and tell them, hey, listen, I had that NADCO thing. How about that's what I was asking Brother Benson. Because what will happen, and we know this is what's going to happen, once the Mandamano catches fire, ile kishashika moto, watu wako kwa streets, people are demanding change, things must change. Guess what will happen? Of course, Megan Wickman will go to Ruto and tell him, hey, listen, get your house in order. Get this thing over. He'll call Raila Odinga. Chris Coons will call Raila Odinga and tell him, hey, listen, Raila Odinga, I know you want Mandamano, but you need to sit down with Ruto. Sit down with him right now. We have our interests. We have 28 companies that in Kenya right now that are foreign countries, some of them foreign, most of them foreign, that are in the free economic zones, okay, that are not paying taxes, okay, and are shipping profits outside of Kenya, okay? That's a Western interest, okay? These corporations will not make money if Kenya is unstable, okay? If there's Mandamano and people are burning down businesses and there's no security, you can't guarantee security in Kenya, those corporations in those economic free zones in Kenya will not be happy. And Megan Wakeman will call Ruto, and Chris Coons will call Raila Odinga and tell them, you guys need to sit down and talk. And they shall talk, and Raila Odinga will tell his friend Ruto and say, listen, we need to share government, power in this government. Make me the prime minister, and Jimmy Wanjigi might want his piece, whether it's the head of whatever, okay? Whatever how they'll slice it doesn't matter, okay? The point is they will push for a referendum, for a change in the constitution to accommodate these leaders that are starting this mandamano, that are leading this mandamano, okay? To accommodate them. That's why I say the mandamano that's been financed and organized by the bourgeoisie class cannot benefit the sovereign people of Kenya. It will only benefit these guys, okay? Because they'll be looking after their interest. Remember, everybody is about the interest. If you look at it, that's why these people always, like my friend Brother Benson said, we are playing musical chairs. They're just changing positions, okay? Because the Kenyatta family has businesses that they want to maintain. The Ruto family, Ruto and his family and his business, he cares about his businesses. Raila has vast business interests in Kenya that he wants to maintain. Jimmy Wanjigi is a billionaire who has business interests that he wants to maintain. So they can only have this mandamano to sway the population in order to bring in what they want. And also, the Western powers who are actually ruling Kenya, they want to maintain their interest in Kenya, and instability is not going to help it, okay? These corporations that I told you, the 28 corporations that are operating in Kenya in a free economic zone in Kenya as of right now, they cannot profit if there's instability, because they need workers to work there and they need transportation. They want security for things to go on, okay? So they need stability. So this whole mandamano is designed to sway the minds of Kenyans, okay? This is why they're doing it. And now, I'll play you the last when Jimmy Wanjigi talking about this. And you can tell Jimmy Wanjigi, you know, sometimes these people, when you listen to what they say, they reveal a lot. So apparently, Jimmy Wanjigi is on a fast dial. He has a number of Uhuru Kenyatta, because he mentioned there's a time when Uhuru Kenyatta threatened to arrest him. But I guess if you don't know the history, I think Jimmy Wanjigi's dad and Kenyatta's dad were friends. They knew each other from back in the day, okay? So that's how kind of they got rich, but that's a story for another day. But I'm just saying, that's why I made a video yesterday saying that this Jimmy Wanjigi guy, I do not trust him. Yes, he has done some patriotic things like auditing our debt, you know, helping Okiom Tata unravel the corruption that is happening in the treasury, and you know, stopping the unconstitutional laws, that policies that Ruto is trying to shove down the Kenyan people's throats. Yes, in that aspect, Jimmy Wanjigi has done well. But remember, this is a businessman, and he has his personal aspirations that may not be beneficial to the sovereign people of Kenya. He might have his own interest that is not in line with the Kenyan folks' interest. That's why I'm saying that it is so it's eerily, it's very interesting that the same players that were in 2017 are now coming in together in 2024. You know, when we are talking about mandamano and we are talking about the possibility of changing the constitution, the protagonist, the same protagonist, Jimmy Wanjigi, Ruto, Raila, Uhuru, Martha Karua, Musyoka, they're the same guys, and they're gathering. You can see them. Nani is talking about 2027. Martha Karua is over here with Kamwene. Raila Odinga is back again with Jimmy Wanjigi. It's the same people, and they're agitating for the very same thing they were agitating for in 2017. Remember, that 2017 deal, handshake, was a governmental national union, not national union. It was a Nusumkate in a way. Because Raila Odinga had a position, AU position, where he was running around, whatever. He got his Nusumkate. He was getting red carpet. He was treating as a president. Ruto was sidelined. Okay? Now he wants the same thing. And he's bringing the same players that brokered the same deal. Jimmy Wanjigi, Raila Odinga, Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta. See what I'm saying? It's the same people who have been pushing the same thing. They want the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 1 hour. I will not keep you any longer. That's all I wanted to say today. But this Jimmy Wanjigi guy, I'm very, very, very suspicious of him. There's something that rubs me the wrong way with this guy. I don't trust him, especially if he's willing to meet with Mr. Raila Odinga. Nothing against Raila Odinga, but I'm just saying, Raila Odinga, I think it's time to get out of the political arena. There's some people, that's why my whole point is this. We need a revolution, but a revolution that's not driven by the bourgeoisie class of Kenya. You cannot have the elite, political elites in Kenya leading a revolution. You have to have a new blood, people who are not being in the system, people who are principled, people who are patriotic, are incorruptible, and care about the constitution, the rule of law. Okay? Those are the people that we need in Kenya, and people who do not take orders from the IMF or World Bank or the British or the US or any other of this corrupt Western ideology. Okay? People who are African-centered, Kenyan-centered, patriots, real patriots. But unfortunately, we have the same protagonists that have been there for the past 30, 40 years, still playing the same game, writing the same script, and we expect different results. That is the definition of madness. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, and comrades, this has been Kenya Revolutionary. I will stop here. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead, run. The name is there. Type it on YouTube, subscribe, share, like, and I will see you next time I go live. Okay? Thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Peace.